evil in human nature.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Just like I would tell you, if you're going to do something, do it well. And leave something witchy. Leave a sign to let the world know that you were there.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
I am now.
So am I. Okay.
Yay! Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Undercover Coven. The show where you hear us talk and we talk to each other on Skype.
That's a good way of putting it.
Sponsor us, Skype.
Right?
I know.
What the hell?
I'm Paula, and
I am Ale.
You are Ale. And
Did we introduce ourselves on our last episode?
No, we didn't.
We didn't, yeah.
But remember that we were like brand new during that episode because we had taken a break.
True. It's like we started all over again.
Yeah. I even forgot, like, I was editing and I forgot, like, how to edit some things. That's how bad it was.
Oh my god.
So how are you?
I am so extremely tired.
I believe you.
But I feel like that's our aesthetic. So, like, I have to say that I'm tired, but now I'm actually tired.
Good. Yeah. I'm sleepy. It's also on brand, so I'm sleepy.
Yeah, you know. Just a disclaimer, my roommate downstairs is just jamming along. You know, it's Friday night. He's getting ready to go out. And he, so if just in case you hear, like, some music, I'm pretty sure he's dancing because I can hear, like, the floor thumping.
Well, at least it's good music, so...
It's good music, yeah.
It's okay. Oh, and if I start, like, coughing or something, I'm sick. I'm a little sick. I'm a lot better today, but I'm a little sick, so just in case. Do we have shout-outs?
Well, one of the stories today...
Oh, yeah. One of the stories today was requested by Angela from People Keep Dying. And thank you so much, Angela. I'm very excited to cover this because it's honestly very tragic and brutal, but very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about it because I read, like, just kind of a description of what it was a while back when she requested it. Mm-hmm. But I actually didn't read into it, so you're gonna shine some light onto that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling Ale, this is when I'm kind of happy that I know a little bit and I understand a little bit of Portuguese because I don't want to, like, butcher names. I don't want people to feel bad.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Kills and Chills because they shouted us out in their last episode for finding them on social media.
Yes. We already gave them our addresses so they can send us some chocolate.
You know what? I feel like it would be a crazy thing for them to send, what was it they're going to say?
An edible arrangement.
The fruit arrangements, was it?
Edible
arrangements?
Yeah.
To my workplace, but also I kind of want them to, just because it would be hilarious.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Right?
Oh my god, if that happens, please, like, record the whole thing. I need to see it.
Oh, I don't know. I would be like, I don't know who that is, you guys.
I
wouldn't eat
god.
it. It's safe for me to eat it, but not for you guys to eat it.
Oh my god. I totally messaged them and I'm like, you can just send me a postcard. There's no edible arrangements in Chile. Like, it's not gonna happen. So just,
I'm sure there is.
I don't know. Probably doesn't work. As all things Chilean.
It's just like scamming you.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Which is very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, remember we have Patreon now. It's patreon.com/undercovercoven. If you can give us dollars. So we can buy dollars. So we can buy audio things.
Yeah.
Did you see the Woods podcast? They just tagged us in this little Twitter thing like an hour ago.
Oh my god. I'll be super honest with you. I've been getting the notifications for all the social media. I took a nap when I got to my dad's house from 3 p.m. I woke up like around 4:30. No, lies. I got there, ordered pizza. At 5, I fell asleep until I got up to come home. So, like, I was ignoring. I was just ignoring all of the social medias because I woke up at 5 in the morning today. And I did not sleep last night.
That's nice.
But I can check it right now. Now I feel bad that I didn't.
No, it's okay. It was just like a tag that was like things your listeners might not know. And I did a things listeners might not know, Paula edition. So I mentioned that I love Boy Meets World and that I know episodes of Boy Meets World by heart. I mentioned
Paula is like when somebody says that they're like, oh my god, I'm such a fan of Boy Meets World. No, they haven't met Paula. Paula knows. She would sit there with you and she hasn't seen the episodes in like maybe 3 years. And she would know every single line. It's a good thing.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's like when people tell me like, oh, you like Michael Jackson? I like Michael Jackson too. And I'm like, oh, whoa.
What is happening?
I'm going to keep that in the recording. That's funny.
Please do that. I am totally gonna send this episode to him.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And spit in my eye.
Think that you can love me and leave me to die. Oh, man. Oh, that was awesome. So when people tell me like, oh, you like Michael Jackson? I like Michael Jackson too. And I'm like, nah, you're not on my level.
No.
No.
No, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yep.
I can't just like something. I have to be obsessed with it.
Well, some things are very much okay to be obsessed with.
Yeah. Wow. Everything is like sounding in your house.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of wind outside, so like the windows are slamming. Slamming. No, like the windows are. Oh Jesus, I'm so tired. I can't even try and be funny.
Don't worry, your roommate's doing that for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rafi. I'm totally gonna send that to him. This
Please
episode
do.
to him.
Please do.
Totally gonna tag him.
This episode is dedicated to, what's his name? Rafi?
Rafi.
Rafi. Hi, Rafi.
Hi.
Thank you for your comedic timing.
Oh God.
Okay, shall we get started?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. I'm literally like half asleep. Okay. So, the episode that I'm doing today, the case, Jesus Christ, Mary and Joseph, what's happening? I need to like curl up in a ball and cry for a little bit. Okay.
You can do that on the podcast. That would be good content.
That would be good content. You know, people like miserable these days. So I'm doing Joyce Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Joyce Vincent was born in Hammersmith on 19th of October. 19th of October. Why is it written like that? Sorry. She was born in October 19th of 1965. Both of her parents were from somewhere, I think like a small island close to Africa, like around Africa, but not actually from Africa. It was from African descent, but not, anyways. And then, let me see. So following an operation, her mom died when she was only 11 years old. So Joyce was only 11. And she has 4 older sisters. They took responsibility for raising her. She had a strained relationship with her father. He was very, very emotionally distant. And actually, she claimed for some reason that he died in 2001 when he actually died like a year after that. No, sorry. He died actually in 2004.
Okay.
So, like, she was completely done with him by 2001.
Okay, that's weird.
Weird, right? So she left school at age 16 and she didn't graduate, so without graduating.
Mm-hmm.
In 1985, she began working as a secretary for OCL, which is a Containers Limited, so it's like a transports, it was like a transports company. And that was in London, so she moved to London. She then worked at some law firms, Estern and Young, Law Debenture, so C. Elliot, I think, Law Debenture. And the last place that she worked at, I think, let me see, well, like a proper job, was Ernst and Young. So she worked there in the Treasury Department for 4 years and then resigned in March of 2001, but nobody knew why.
Okay.
She just left, right? So a little bit about her like personal life, romantic life, and all that. So she was in an abusive relationship.
Okay.
So after this relationship, so she spent some time in a domestic abuse shelter. This was in Haringey, in this, I don't know any of these cities. If anybody knows this, Haringey. It's in the UK somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And while she was staying at that shelter, she worked as a cleaner in a hotel. So during this period, she became estranged from her family. She became kind of very isolated. So somebody who was part of the investigation of her death, said she detached herself from her family, but there was no bust up. So they were a really nice family to her. Like her sisters, they were really close. I mean, they raised her.
Right.
But I think what they think is that she was ashamed that she was in an abusive relationship. That she was a victim of abuse, which it happens with that happens to people. And so she just strained herself from her sisters. So after being on that shelter and working for a little bit, she moved into a bedsit, which is like a complex. I guess that's what they call it. So she moved into a complex, and she moved into an apartment. It was a studio apartment above a shopping center, I think. So that was in February. Let me see. So because it was a complex that was for people coming out of, like, women coming out of abusive relationships, the government paid half of her rent.
Okay, I remember.
And then she had to pay the other half. So in 2003, because the flat, like the apartment was owned by the Metropolitan Housing, they came into the apartment to repossess it because she hadn't been paid her half of her rent. And that's when they found her. So this was... No, sorry. In 2006, they came in to repossess it. That's when they came in and they found her dead sitting on her couch. So let's move back to 2003. She was admitted to the hospital. So this was in November 2003. She was admitted to the hospital for... Yeah.
So she moved into the apartment in 2003?
Yeah, around like 2002, 2003. After being in the shelter, she moved into the apartment. Sorry, that was my bad.
And they found her in 2006?
Yeah.
Okay, ahora sí.
So she moved in 2003. And in November 2003, she was admitted to the hospital for vomiting blood.
Okay.
She was coughing up blood, and she was like coughing too much, and she vomited blood. And they said that she was hospitalized for 2 days because of a peptic ulcer.
Okay.
And then they sent her back home. So the 3 years pass. Government is paying half of her rent. She's not paying her other half in this entire time. So the government comes in, like officials come in to repossess her apartment and like her stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So they did try to contact her a bunch of times, and they just thought that she was like dodging their calls and like
right.
her like letters and all that, blah blah blah. So they came in to repossess and reclaim the apartment, and this was on January 5th of 2006. So it was 3 years after she was admitted to the hospital that time. And they came in, and that's when they found her like dead in the couch.
Right.
Her skeleton was sitting on the couch. So she was clutching onto I think she was so unrecognizable because she was so decomposed that they could only, because of her dental records, they were able to find out that was in fact her. So she was clutching onto a plastic bag. So in the corner of the room, there was still, her television was still turned on.
Mm-hmm.
It was tuned on to BBC One. And there was a pile of unopened gifts under the Christmas tree, which it looked like she had been wrapping at the time that she died. And let me see. So there was some stuff left in this kitchen sink as if she had been, like, she just ate, like, before everything happened, like, before whatever happened to her. And there was, like, a pile of mail by her door. Like, they could barely open it. It's just, like, been collecting for 3 years. So the only way that they were able to recognize her, it was, so they say, by comparing dental records with an old holiday photo that they found in her apartment of her smiling.
My God.
And that's how they were able to know that was her. So they estimated when they did the autopsy that she died in 2003, like December of 2003. And most likely it was of an asthma attack. So it was natural causes. There was no foul play or anything.
Right.
So her neighbors didn't really know her. They didn't even notice that she was gone. The only thing that they noticed, it was that there was a bad smell, but all they thought, because they lived above a shopping center, right? Mm-hmm. And so there were like big garbage cans and containers like right underneath their windows. So they were like, oh, it's the garbage. And then there was another neighbor that said that in the summertime, every time he would open the windows, there were like these little black, like, mosquito-like bugs that would, like, crawl into... He lived, I think, next door. That would crawl into his window. So he would always have to close it. And that's the only two things that people noticed.
Oh, God.
She was 38 years old at the time of her death. And she worked for most of her life because she left school so early and she didn't graduate. She did have family and friends, and she wasn't like of any trouble. Like, she wasn't on any drugs. She wasn't an alcoholic, like nothing like that. She was a good girl. Right?
Right.
So Martin Lister was an ex-boyfriend, not the abusive relationship that she was in, but it was, another ex-boyfriend. They dated for, let me see. They dated on and off. I think 2001, and then they kept in touch until, like, once in a while they would, like, talk to each other, like, hey, how's it going, blah blah blah, until 2002, and then she just, like, stopped replying. And he only found out about her when there was a writer who was doing, I think, a documentary on her, and he put out an ad for people who knew her just to, like, shine some light on her life. And that's the only way that he found out that she was dead.
Yeah.
So he actually says, it's like, to look back and think, I wish I'd asked more, wish I'd understood more, he said to the interviewer.
Yeah.
And then more people started coming forward. So apparently she had isolated herself from her family in the years before her death. And that was, they say it's because of the relationship that she was in, that it was troublesome, and just because like of the men that she chose to date, and like her family didn't like her, and then it was abusive relationship, so she was probably ashamed. So like a bunch of factors just played into it, right? There was an article from the Glasgow Herald reported, and they said that friends and like colleagues categorized her as someone who would just walk out of jobs if she clashed with a colleague, and who would like move from one flat to the next all over London. She didn't answer the phone to her sister ever. She didn't appear to have like her own cycle of friends. Like, she would hang out with people conveniently.
Okay.
Like, she was that friend of a friend that you would see once in a while, and you just assume that they have friends because they're like at that party with you.
Okay. Yeah.
But then the next person also thinks the same thing, that maybe they're friends with you but you're not friends with them. So she didn't have her own cycle of friends. Like, it was just like very conveniently, and like when, I don't know, it's really weird. It makes me think about like just people that you don't see often, like be friends of friends that you're like acquaintances that you know they're there, and then you just assume things of like, yeah, I assume that they have their friends.
Yeah.
But really, who knows?
Yeah.
Right? So instead of relying on the company of relative strangers who came into the package of a new boyfriend, a new colleague, like a new like roommate, so it was like friends of friends. Those were her friends. Like her friends, Aaron, are quote, but they weren't really friends. They were just like people that she would like hang out with once in a while. And that's it. It was just, it's just weird to me that it went 3 years. It's just so bizarre that 3 years and nobody noticed that she was gone.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's just, her life wasn't what people thought it was. I'm pretty sure like people around her that thought, oh, she's friends with that person, but then that person was like, no, she's friends with that person. Like, those are her friends. So they just assumed that she had friends, and that she, like, her life wasn't what she made it seem to be.
Right. I find
she was just a very lonely person.
I just find it so sad. So sad. Especially
and that's
considering
exactly how she died, which is so sad.
Which is the thing that I find, like, horrible, that breaks my heart every time I hear this story, is the part about the Christmas gifts. That she was wrapping Christmas gifts when she died.
Right?
Yeah. That's sad. It's really sad. I remember watching the documentary. You can watch the documentary, Dreams of a Life, it's called. And basically, they go through the story, but it's all witnesses' accounts. Like, I mean, not witnesses, but like people who knew her. And they were like, oh, she was a good person. Yeah. She was very pretty, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, okay, how did you find out she died? And they were like, they would start crying. And they were like, I should have asked more. I should have said something.
Yeah.
I should have called. You know? Yeah, it's sad. It just makes you, like, wonder about somebody you might know, like, you don't know that much about. I don't know. It makes you think about other people. It
does, right?
Yeah. Certain people come to mind when I think about Joyce Vincent, and it just makes you want to ask. It makes you want to ask. It's sad.
Be like, hey, so how's it going? Like, are things good? Yeah, right? It's just so sad that, I don't know.
Nobody bothered to, like, go over the apartment. Like, I don't know if
check in on her. No.
If people I knew, like, weren't talking to me for a while, I would be like, I would, like, text them once in a while. I do that. I text people and I'm like, hey, I just It's been a long time. Are you okay?
How's everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's sad.
It is sad. And you know what? It did get me thinking. Like, yesterday I was on my way home, and I was, like, reading an article about her, like, life and everything. And I was like, I wonder if I died. Like, let's say in my sleep at night. I think a lot about death.
Me too.
I think it's part of my personality trait. But, yeah. I just wonder how long it would take for people to notice. Like, it won't be right away because, for, like, example, sometimes I don't see my roommates in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't always reply back to texts. Like, people knows that I don't always reply back because, like, I just didn't want to, or, like, I was, you know, sleeping or whatever, or...
Mm-hmm.
And then I just forgot, and then pasó la vieja, like we
Pasó
say.
la vieja. Yeah.
And so, like, I wonder, like, how long it would take for, like, somebody to find me.
But see, you say that, but you have to know that, for example, me or our other friends, they would be worried about you if you didn't answer your text for, I don't know, a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know? But 3 years?
That's what I'm saying. It's just 3 years. Nobody bothered, apart from, like, the government, to check on her, which, like, the government was coming to repossess her apartment.
Did nobody call? Did nobody call, wonder why she wasn't answering the phone and not bother to go to the apartment? I don't get it. I don't get it. Really, I don't.
I don't either. And, like, I understand, like, the neighbors saying, like, yeah, you know, like, she didn't know much about her, and she was just, like, very, like, secluded or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, like, people has routines, right? So, for example, my next door neighbor, I see her going in and out of her house, like, once in a while. Like, she's an older lady. I never talk to her, but she comes in and out of the house. So, like, when I don't see her at all, like, I wonder, I'm like, weird, does she still live there? Because, again, people has a routine. Like, people are used to it. I understand that she, like, this girl quit her job before she eventually passed away. So, like, there was nobody at work checking in on her because, like, she didn't have to be at anywhere to work, right?
Right.
But, like, her neighbors weren't like, hey, you know, I haven't seen her in, like, 6 months. Where did she go? But then again, she did used to move flats, you know. I'm from the UK now. She used to move, like, apartments constantly.
Did she use the tube?
What do you mean, the tube?
The subway.
Oh, that's what they call it?
You didn't know that?
No.
Or what's it called? We're gonna get so off topic here. The boot of the car. Instead of the trunk of the car, they say the boot of the car.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because
that one I knew, yeah.
Because John watches Top Gear, but it's English. So sometimes he'll come and he'll, like, talk like this. And I'm like, you're not British.
Oh my god, that smell is back.
It's
the
not.
perfume smell is back. It's right here.
Maybe it's coming through a vent because you have a man roommate.
Yeah,
a man mate.
Last time I smelled it, it was like at 2 a.m.
Maybe he was awake
Everybody
putting
was
on
sleeping.
perfume 2 a.m. You don't know. You don't know his life.
Give me a second. I need to go check.
Okay.
1 second.
Report back.
Oh my god, it's coming from the vent.
Ale is standing on her bed checking the vent.
That is... I mean, I don't mind that it smells good.
That's
but
creepy.
The other night was creepy because it was super late and my house was, like, completely, like, dead. And it started coming through the vent, which is weird.
That's creepy.
I know.
Yeah. That's Joyce Vincent. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I know, right?
Aw, I want to give her a hug. I want her to know she's not alone.
we should.
Hug the air.
Hug the air. Okay.
Okay, so I am going to do this story, Angela, from People Keep Dying requested, about a little boy, a 6-year-old Brazilian boy, named Joao Helio Fernandes Viechis.
Viechis?
Yeah. It's spelled Vieeites, but it's pronounced Viechis. Viechis, yeah. Okay. So he was a 6-year-old Brazilian boy who was murdered in 2007 after an armed carjacking by a group of men in Rio de Janeiro. Okay. So little Joao Helio was born March 18th, 2000, and was the only child of Elson Lopez Viechis and Rosa Cristina Fernandez. They were a middle-class family living in the north suburbs of Rio de Janeiro. During a summer evening, and let's all remember that here in South America, the seasons are backwards. Reversed. Yeah. So in February, it's summer. So when I say, they were in a summer evening, I'm talking about January, February.
Yeah.
Right? So during a summer evening, Joao was riding in the backseat of his mother's Corsa sedan when they drove home from a religious center. Also in the car was a family friend, 13-year-old Aline. As the mother was driving along Rua Joao Vicente, which is a street, she slowed down at a traffic light shortly after 9 p.m. There were 2 cars stopped ahead of them. One of these cars was a taxi, and out of the taxi stepped out 5 young men, and 2 of them were with handguns.
Okay.
They tapped the car window, like on the sedan. They tapped the car to show that the guns were real, to show that they were metal, they were not fake. They surrounded the car and forced everybody to get out. Joao's mother didn't resist. Rosa, she didn't resist because she had been a victim of a street assault before. But she was pushed aside by one of the thieves while she was going to open the door for Joao, for the little boy. She got to the door, opened it, tried to get Joao out, but the same thief that pushed her before pushed her again and closed the door. And Joao, he slammed the door on the seatbelt that was holding the kid, and he left Joao's body hanging outside the car.
Whoa, okay. So he asked for everybody to come out of the car.
Yeah.
But he just decided to take it out on this kid. And just slammed him?
That's a debate. Because, well, we'll get into it, but it's that there were 5 guys surrounding a car.
Yeah.
The people inside the car were asked to get out because they were going to rob the car. And the mother realized that her son was still in the car, strapped into his seat. And when she was going to get him, she was unbuckling him, and the guy slammed the door and just pushed her aside. Yeah, it's a debate, but I'll get into it a little bit later.
Okay.
The thieves then accelerated the vehicle at a high speed, and Rosa and Aline chased the car screaming. The assailants drove down several neighborhoods, dragging Joao for a total of 7 kilometers or 4.3 miles before abandoning the car with the child's body still attached to it. All of this lasted 10 minutes. While passing through neighborhoods, they passed in front of 2 corner bars where patrons were horrified, obviously, at what they were witnessing, and shouted frantically at the young men to stop driving. One man on a motorcycle even chased the car to alert the people in the car, but was threatened with a gun when he got too close. Okay?
Yeah.
He later testified that he at one point got so close to the car that he saw Joao and he noticed that he was dead.
Oh my God.
According to Police Chief Hercules Pires do Nascimento, the thieves were aware that they were dragging a child and even drove in a zigzag fashion to try to get rid of him. They added that God. I know, right?
What the fuck? Okay, robbing is one thing, but murdering a child?
For no reason. He added that their demeanor was cold and indifferent. At one point, one of the thieves shouted to people outside the car, like the people that were screaming at them, that it wasn't a child, it was a doll. Witnesses said that they reported seeing the child's body toppled over many times, bouncing against the pavement, the rear wheel, and aggravated by numerous speed bumps along the route the thieves took. This was bad.
What the fuck?
After abandoning the car, the thieves went home and had dinner with their parents before attending a local church party. The family of one of the thieves turned them in once they found out the truth. Less than 8 hours after the murder, they were apprehended by the 30th Precinct of Rio de Janeiro State Police. And all the thieves, all of them, were under 23 years old.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in general, has a high murder rate, right?
Yeah.
But even with those statistics that came out of that place, people were absolutely outraged at what happened. This thing went national. The crime sparked a series of public protests and debates across Brazil, demanding an end to violence and to increase the punishment of criminals involved in brutal crimes. As more details emerged from the crime, people were outraged that the thieves never encountered police during the route they drove. The lack of police presence allowed the crime to go on for as long as it did without interference from law enforcement. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Brazil is a place where crime is it's very high, especially in poor parts, which are called favelas, and which are like ghettos or the slums. And so people were noticing that if there were more police, this whole thing lasted 10 minutes. And there were no cops anywhere. And they passed fire stations. They passed like bureaus, police bureaus, things like that. And nobody said a thing.
What the fuck?
And these were and people were like screaming at them. Like, it's not something that doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
So people were demanding that more police had to be on the streets. And the other thing is that, well, I'll get into it, but all of the thieves were under the age of 23. One was 16 years old. And people were demanding that the age of imprisonment, especially as like being tried as an adult, to be lower. Because I think, because the age where you are tried as an adult in Brazil is at 18.
Yeah.
But these kids in Brazil, like, they grow up so much faster than everybody else because of the level of crime that they witness at a very young age.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And it's like, it's known that there's corruption in the country. There's like a lot of crime. I remember when I went to Brazil, we were in a very nice place. We were in Camboriú, but there was like a line that you couldn't cross. If you crossed that line, you were gonna get robbed, or you were gonna get like, everything bad.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a little bit what happens here in Chile as well.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Playa Ancha, you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. And some other areas too, but. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But this sparked like so many things in Brazil that even so less than a week after Joao's death, he was memorialized at a soccer game at the Maracanã Stadium before a match between Botafogo and Flamengo. And these are national Brazilian teams. But this was... I saw a couple of memorials. They have like a street named after him. They have cemeteries named after him. They have like a law named after him. This thing is huge. This is big. So at least, I know it's not like gonna bring him back or be any more comfort, but at least it wasn't in vain. It's not in vain. His death wasn't in vain. He thankfully made something positive happen in a very, very, bad country.
Yeah.
Okay, so the assailants were sentenced on January 30th, 2008, a week before the 1-year anniversary of Joao Helio's murder. Carlos Toledo de Lima, age 23, the ringleader and driver of the car, was sentenced to 45 years imprisonment. He should have gotten life.
He should have, but...
All of these people should have gotten life. Diego Nascimento da Silva, age 18, came out of the taxi with a handgun, rode in the passenger seat, was the one who threatened the motorcyclist, and was sentenced to 44 years imprisonment. Ezequiel Toledo da Lima, age 16, the younger brother of the ringleader, was responsible for shutting the car door on the seatbelt. He was released from prison in 2010 at the age of 19. Whoa.
That's the wind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy
it's gonna
shit.
be a storm tomorrow, yeah.
So he was released from prison in 2010 at the age of 19. And in 2012, he was arrested for drug trafficking and being in possession of a stolen vehicle. But, dude, that was 2 years.
Yeah. That
2
was
years.
only 2 years.
Tiago
And
Matos.
he's the one who left the baby hanging from...
Yeah.
Like, the kid hanging from the seat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tiago Matos, age 19, driver of the taxi in which they emerged, 39 years imprisonment. Carlos da Silva, age 21, he accompanied Tiago to transport 3 robbers to the assault at the stoplight, 39 years imprisonment. So, the ringleader got the most years.
So, I have a question. Why did everybody get between 35 and 40 plus years? And that one guy got, like,
I
2?
don't know. I know it said that he was released on good behavior, but it's only 2 years in. I know. It's stupid.
He was released in good behavior. Didn't he get, like... Did he go back in prison after? Or he's
afterwards,
still...
yeah. No, he's in prison now.
That's so stupid. They released him
know.
in good behavior and then he came out and do the same thing.
Yeah. But I was reading a couple of reports from police, and everyone... None of the people involved in this, including the mother, think that this was like an accident that they left Joao hanging from the car. Everybody thinks this was on purpose.
I think so too. I don't think it was premeditated, like, today we're gonna go kill a child. I think it was a decision made in the moment.
Yeah.
And then they were like, whatever, let's just leave him hanging.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But not like, oh, I didn't realize the kid was hanging. You don't go for 10 minutes like that. You just, if you truly didn't know that kid was hanging from there, you stop for 2 seconds, or at least you, like, release him and just, like, drop him on the side and just take off with the car.
Yeah.
You don't drive on zigzag for 10 minutes.
No, and
drag the kid along the street.
The thing that I found worse was when they abandoned the car, they left the body there, still hanging from the car. Like, how
I'm telling you.
How stupid is that?
Yeah.
And the good thing is that each of these people that were involved, like the 5 assailants, the families turned them in.
Good.
And I think that's pretty cool.
That is great.
That's cool. Like, even like one of the guys, like, the father came out and he was like, "No, my son did it. Please take him away." Like, people were absolutely outraged at this. And especially, like, imagine a whole country being mad about a crime and then realizing that your child did it. Like, dude, just take him away. Take him away.
Right?
Yeah. And, yeah, that's the story of Joao. I think that, thank you, Joao, for, like, unfortunately dying, but good things came out of the death. But Brazil, like, needs a lot of tighter laws. It's the same thing that happens in Chile. Like, people are arrested and then they're released the next day.
My thing is, how many more tragedies have to happen for things to actually change?
I don't know. Like, I'm so sad.
For example, the whole, which actually, I've been thinking of doing an episode on him, Daniel Zamudio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should.
We should do an episode on him. And now there's, like, a law and everything because of him.
Oh, yeah.
But how many of those things had to happen before they had to put that law in place?
They had to kill a child.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Like, I admire, we're gonna get into current events, but I admire New Zealand so much right now.
Oh my God.
The level of greatness they're showing is amazing after this idiot shot people in a mosque, you know? Like, it took them less than a week and they banned semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But
and
here,
then you go in the States.
no, obviously, and imagine that's like a first world country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine how horrible it is here or in Brazil or in any other place here in South America. Like, imagine Venezuela.
Oh my God.
But Brazil is, oh God, Brazil is, and it's such a beautiful country. Such, people are like so amazing there. You know, they have such beautiful customs, and it's being like so what's it called, like shadowed, like they're overshadowed by crime.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
crime
sad.
and corruption, that's what people knows Brazil for. But like you're saying, like, the people there is beautiful, the country is beautiful. It's just that, again, that just overpowers, the bad overpowers the good.
Yeah.
And it should be the way around.
Yeah. It's sad. I know so many stories about Brazilian, you know, there's so many videos, like police corruption.
Yeah.
Police just shooting people on the street because they want to and things like that. It's sad, man. So sad. At least positive things came out of it.
Yeah, that
like
story was wild.
Even at the carnival that year, you know, the Brazilian carnival is like a big deal. They dedicated a part of it to Joao.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a little boy.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's just like, okay, crime and corruption and shit. You'd think that children will get somewhat of a pass in certain situations.
They don't.
Because they're children and they're innocent.
Mm-mm.
Why would they even... I honestly don't think it was an accident. It's not like they, in the middle of the road, they were like, oh, child's hanging. Oh, what do we do? No. They saw the opportunity and they're like, okay, let's just leave him there.
They didn't care.
They didn't care at all.
So sad.
Yeah.
You know, something here in Chile happened, something like that, but in Santiago, a woman was getting out of her car to open the gate at her house, and she had a child in the back seat. And these guys robbed the car with the child inside, and they just sped off. And
Seriously?
the woman, like, before they sped off, the woman got in front of the car, and they just, like, ran over her and then dropped the baby out the window. Yeah, that happened a few months ago.
What is wrong with these fuckers?
I don't know, man.
People are truly evil.
They are. They are.
What the fuck?
It's sad. Like, when things like this happen, like, for example, Joyce Vincent, like, she died in such a lonely state. And then this little boy that had, like, his whole life ahead of him. It makes me so, like, hopeless. Like,
right?
Like, that's on your end, right? The laughing? Oh, okay.
I just don't get a minute alone in this house.
It makes me so hopeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It makes you want to be the change, but at the same time, it's like, how can I do that when, like, there's just so much wrong going around?
The only thing good that we're doing, for example, is telling people stories that they might not know. And I think that's good.
Like bringing awareness.
Yeah. But at the same time, you realize that so much shit is going, like, so wrong in the world.
It's true.
It's like, what can you do? So all I'm thinking right now is that I'm going to start asking people, like, how they are.
Just a little small act of kindness.
Yeah.
Maybe just say hi to somebody in the street. If they're looking at you, smile at them.
Yeah.
Not in a creepy way, but like smile at them. Or say like, hi.
Yeah. There's
you don't have
nothing
to
wrong.
stop, talk to them because you don't know them, but just smile. Give a smile to people.
Yeah.
You never know whose day you're gonna change.
That I always, even when I was sick and everything, and I went to work, I always say, I don't know why people don't do this anymore. I always say good morning, thank you.
Yeah.
I always, everywhere, to anybody. Yeah. I say good morning, thank you. Some people hold the door for me and I say thank you. Like, why don't people do that anymore?
Yeah. We need to start being kinder to each other.
We do.
I think that's what it is.
We do. And, on the crime part, things need to change. Things need to change really bad. Everywhere. Not only here.
Yeah.
Let's look at New Zealand as an example of what to do.
Yeah.
Did you see the police that were had like a class on what's it called? What's it called? Muslims are?
No.
Musulmanes?
I follow the headlines,
What's
but
it
not
called?
the full stories.
Oh, okay. It's just that people, like inside the mosque, there were like a bunch of police officers, and they were they were given classes on Musulmanes.
Oh, really?
What's it called? The religion, like Islam.
Is Islam? I guess, yeah.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry if I said this wrong, but I think it's Islam. And the women, for example, in the funeral, the guards, they were wearing like scarves on their head, and the women were wearing scarves on their head. And that's so nice. Like, that's solidarity.
It is.
It's solidarity. But yeah, start noticing, guys. Start noticing other people. Start noticing their routines. Say thank you. Have a smile on your face, even though sometimes it's hard. We have to be nicer.
That's true.
We have to be nicer. I want to tell a joke. I'm sad.
I told you I'm too exhausted to be funny, so I'm waiting for you to say a joke.
Oh, really?
We should end this on a positive note. Tell me a funny story that happened to you this week.
Okay. I have one. So, I go to work on Tuesday. And I work with 3 other people. 2 men and a girl. Okay. And I get to work on Tuesday, and the girl is there. And we start talking, and we realize that we both like Mark Anthony. So we put on Mark Anthony full blast at the office. Then the other guy comes in, the other guy I work with, and he's like, "Why are you listening to Mark Anthony?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And the printer was bad, so I dedicated the whole morning to fixing the printer. Then my boss calls the other girl that I was working with, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get some cake. Ask Paula if she wants to go with us." And she asked me, and I say, "Okay." And then he comes to the office, gets us, and we all go to the supermarket to get cake.
Okay.
And my boss loves chocolate, and all the Easter bunny, chocolate eggies are everywhere. And he gets like 3 packs of 60 eggs each.
What the fuck?
And then we go.
Was he like just in a sugar rush like Michael Scott the rest of the day?
I've never seen him not eat. He's always eating. And then we go to we get the cake, we go pay, and he still has these boxes of chocolate eggs. And then in the car, he starts asking me and the other girl to take the wrapper from the egg and give it to him, and he would just shove the eggs in his mouth. And then
While he was driving. And then we got to the office. We had coffee, birthday cake, because it was one of my coworkers' birthdays. I wrote happy birthday on the window. We took pictures. We saw that passed. Then we went to lunch. Then we came back. We worked for the first time in the morning. My boss comes in and he's like, "Have you guys watched the trailer for Stranger Things 3?" And everybody's like, "No." So we have like this huge big screen TV in the office
that we do projections on, and he projected the trailer on it. And we watched that one. We watched the Avengers trailer. We watched the Captain Marvel trailer. We watched the Game of Thrones trailer. And then we looked at memes.
Yes. And that was your whole day?
That was my whole day.
Did you guys actually work?
I worked for a total of 2.5 hours.
Good job.
Yeah. That was my whole day. I swear, I didn't open my computer all day, like my laptop. I didn't do shit. I just had birthday cake.
Good job.
I just had birthday cake.
That's good. That's an awesome story.
See, that was positive.
That was.
Now it's your turn. Say something funny.
Oh, God. Today, one of our sheds flew away. And it was in the middle of the parking lot. And it was pretty funny to watch like 5 grown men trying to move it out of the middle of the road.
Really?
Yeah. That's my positive end story.
That's funny.
And then I got home. I got to my dad's. I ordered pizza. I ate pizza, and then I took a long-ass nap.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm happy because we are going to cut Jax's hair, finally.
Yes. Okay.
The Fluff. The Fluff, you know him as the Fluff, the demon, the exorcist. Satan. Lucifer. That's my dog. We're going to cut his hair, finally. Next week. So he's not going to be the Fluff anymore.
Oh.
I'm gonna have like all his hair, and when people want like a sticker or something, I'm gonna send him like hair, Jax's hair.
Why?
I don't know.
Please don't.
Okay, let's end this because this is
okay.
like, getting pathetic now.
My joints hurt.
We're old.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes. Yes, you are.
That's not an old lady saying, right?
Yeah, it is, but you're allowed to say it also.
Okay.
Oh,
I also bought return Christmas lights for $2. So
yeah,
that's another positive thing.
Yay, Christmas lights, so
Yay.
pretty. Let's end this. So you can follow us on social media at Undercover Coven everywhere. That means Twitter and Instagram because we're not anywhere else. And our email is undercovercoven@gmail.com. Please send us stories, requests, a hi, how do you do?
Hi.
What's up?
How do you do? How do you do?
Do you like dogs? Send me pictures of your dogs.
That's all we want.
Yes, that's what we want.
Send us pictures of your pets.
Yes. And the cutest one, cutest one, which will be really hard to pick, will be mentioned in next week's episode.
Okay. And if we cannot choose, there will be one mention in every episode.
I love that idea. I love that idea. So then people will listen to this episode and be like, wait, why are they talking about dogs? And it's because dogs are amazing. And if you don't have dogs and you have like a cat or a bird or a snake or...
I love snakes.
Or a
turtle.
A whatever.
A ferret.
A llama. An
Rock.
alpaca. A rock. A nice blanket you like. You can send us pictures of that also. You can.
Whatever you consider to be your pet.
Yes. Which is not a body part, please.
No. Just don't. Yeah.
Anyway, send us pictures of your pets. We love animals. And leave us a review. Please leave us a review. Please leave us a review. Make us laugh with a review. Hopefully with a 5-star review, with a 5-star rating as well. But leave us something funny.
We're only asking for a 5-star, hilarious, top of the line. I don't know. I'm so tired.
Look, you don't have to be like a journalist or an English major. Just leave us something funny. Leave us a joke. Yeah, leave us something funny, like complete this sentence.
Like song lyrics.
Song lyrics. Never mind. I like song lyrics.
Poems.
Yeah.
Your favorite rap line from an offensive rap song. I don't know.
Your favorite line from a movie.
Your favorite line from a movie.
Your favorite tweet. Your favorite Vine. Like, road work ahead? Yeah, I sure hope it does.
It's Wednesday, my dudes. Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Oh my god. I talked to John the other day and I'm like, hi, it's me, ya boy.
Which one was it? Hi, my name is Anna and I have a basketball game tomorrow.
I'm a point guard. Wow, we're pathetic.
We are.
Anyway, leave us a 5-star rating and a review, please. And send us pictures of your pets to be featured on this wonderful podcast that you love so much. And thank you, Angela, for your request. I love the story. It's very sad, but it was very interesting as well. And just shines a light on a lot of shit that's going on in Brazil right now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week with a new episode.
Goodbye.
Donate to our Patreon. Bye.
Oh, the Patreon.